This WAFLW live stream is proudly brought to you by Optus, proud naming rights partner of the WAFL, and WAFLW, Bupa, proud sponsor of WA football. And the West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams.
Are you ready? Ready to go? Are you ready? Ready for more? Are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my mind, oh my mind. Are you ready? Ready and now to keep going. And I can't stop. Are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my mind, oh my mind. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Round 3 of the WAFL women's competition comes to Claremont Oval. The Tigers and Peel Thunder, your game for streaming this afternoon. Welcome to Tigerland. David Lindsay with you in commentary here this afternoon. The other match in the WAFLW this afternoon is between the Sharks and Swan Districts, so that should be a big game out there at East Fremantle Oval as well. But here, a chance for Claremont and Peel to open their account this season. Both teams have had a bye and a loss in the opening 2 weeks of the season, and looking for their first win of the year here this afternoon. Perfect conditions for football. Two teams very, very keen to get themselves on the winners list here this afternoon. Claremont and Peel, fantastic game in readiness for you here this afternoon. Only about 4 minutes away from the bounce. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the rest of the commentary team and a preview of this big game after these messages.
It's a high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her, just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdling. Well, I feel that day.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First, a network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
Yeah, incredibly exciting. It's obviously a new chapter in my career, in my football career, but I'm incredibly excited to be here and a part of this football club. And I've been really impressed by the professionalism, the level of respect that they've treated me through this process, and I guess the core values that the club have. The product that we're producing now for AFLW has really grown over 3 years, but the next 3 to 5 years is going to be incredible, and some really talented girls coming through, and I can't wait to actually work alongside them. And I felt like I'd be a part of the family here.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
There are the Peel Thunder girls getting themselves ready for this afternoon's match. They're taking on Claremont here at Claremont Oval. David Lindsay in commentary with you, alongside Emily Johnson. Welcome back, Emily.
Thank you. Good to be here again.
And it should be a big game here, Emily. You've had a look at the other teams in the competition. We haven't had much of a chance to see Peel or Claremont just yet, but a disappointing loss, I guess, for both sides, although both teams are very young in terms of this competition.
Yeah, both started quite well. Obviously, Peel had a great first quarter in their first game, and Claremont had a great second quarter in their first game. So I think both teams will be looking to put together a quite full performance and look to play the 4 quarters here.
And our second expert commentator, the third member of the team, Charmaine Rogers, a name well known around women's football circles in Western Australia. It's great to have you with us on the stream this afternoon as well.
Thanks very much, Dave. It's great to be here, making my debut today.
Yes, we'll look after you, I'm sure. What are you expecting this afternoon from the two teams?
Well, I think the difference will be the team that can go harder, longer. As Emily said earlier, I saw the Claremont game last week. They were very good in the second, but that's about all that they had. So, and I haven't had the pleasure of seeing Peel yet, so this should be a cracker.
Emily, we've got a few girls out there wearing jumper numbers different to what we've got in the footy budget. We need teams lists from these WAFL teams, don't we, to make it much easier for us?
Yeah, a bit of a transition. Obviously, they haven't had to provide team lists to the commentary team before, but hopefully it's just part of the adjustment and I'll get used to it week in, week out.
So our viewers at home, here's the teams list. Look at that. We ask for something and we get it straight away.
Receive.
Yes,
yep.
Absolutely. So the Tigers have provided us with a team list which will help us to sort out a few of these number changes to the football budget. There's quite a few of them, in fact, which isn't great for someone who's done his preparation all week learning certain names and numbers, but we'll get through it. I'm sure the viewers at home will bear with us a little bit on some of these names and numbers that we've got that have changed from the football budget during the week. So we've been able to work out that Alexandra Robinson had her down as number 26. She'll be wearing 22, and there's a number of other changes there as well. So the Tigers have made a couple of changes. They lost to Swan Districts last week by 36 points. Peel Thunder had the bye last week, and they lost to East Fremantle in round 1 by 37 points. So really, both teams bringing very similar form into this game. Have you got a tip, ladies? I know you both got a foot well and truly in the Claremont camp. Are you expecting the home team to have a win, or is it the only way you can actually go ahead with it?
I think it'll be a really hotly contested game, and I think it's hard to pick from this point, but whoever comes out and plays hard for the longest, like Shami said, will win it. Peel have had the run of form over Claremont for the last few years, so Claremont will obviously looking to make amends for that in this first home game for the season.
Charmaine, are you allowed to tip any team other than Claremont?
Heart always says the Tigers, but it should be a really good contest, I think, today. A lot of enthusiasm out there and a lot of talent on display too.
So ready to go in this first quarter. The Tigers will kick to the left of screen. The umpire tosses the ball in the air. Lauren Quaife in the ruck for Peel. Had a crack at the first hit out. Chance to break out of the pack, but shut down very quickly there. Ebony Dowson, one of a number of players out there this afternoon that have spent some time on Fremantle's list. It'll be Peel Thunder again through Dowson, unable to break out of this tackle. Nicely done in there by Leah Urseg. Another set of twins out here as well, Emily. We've had twins in a few of the teams, and we've got the Ursegs out here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's great. One less name to remember, so that's good.
Just got to separate them, don't we? Work out which one's which. Here's Jasmine Stewart. Nice ground ball collect. Gets a hand pass out. Dowson, who's been busy in the early stages, giving a quick hand pass away there to Hannah Church. Sends Peel into their attacking half, tracking it close to the line. Hongel sees it over, and we'll see a boundary throw in.
Hongel tried to let that one run out without touching it there, so using that tactic, but we will see a throw in here.
It's good to see the girls adjusting to the rules that they're playing under now.
And good to see the boundary umpire coming in a good 10 metres as well to make the boundary throw in come closer to the centre corridor. Contest for the football in the middle of the ground now. It's been a tight opening minute and a bit. Alana Dickey sweating on the footy there for Claremont. The Tigers looking to come from their defensive half, trying to crash through, unable to take possession. We'll see another ball up alongside the centre circles.
It's looking very much like my Year 7 game. I've just come from coaching. A little bit congested in there.
Did you have a win?
Unfortunately not.
No, well, it's all about participation at that age, isn't it?
It is.
As long as the players come off with a smile on their face. Picking herself up and returning the ball to the umpire there, Bella Zadnik. And again, another tight contest. Church well tackled. Might need a free kick to break this one open.
I think we're in for an arm wrestle today.
Players at both ends keeping their positions, so the congestion really just the midfielders. That appear to be a high tackle. No free kick paid. The umpire calling play on. The player down there, Hannah Church, who did appear to cop one high, but chance for Rowley to set something up. Hand pass to Dowson. Her kick doesn't gain a lot of ground. Urseg comes through, shares it with her sister. She'll be run down from behind. We will see a free kick, holding the ball. Good chase from behind there, and the tackle rewarded. Kate Bartlett back in Perth with the Eagles in the new season. That's a good kick and a nice mark on the chest as well. Coming out from full forward, Breslin takes the mark, moves it on quickly, and returns it to Bartlett, who kept on running. It'll be fascinating to see how Kate Bartlett goes in this competition, Emily, because she was a very talented junior, travelled across the Western Bulldogs, and now back in Perth.
Yeah, she dominated at underage level and got a couple of games with the Bulldogs last year, so it's great to see her back. I do believe that she's a big West Coast Eagles fan, and her mum is also very happy that she's landed a spot with the Eagles. So good luck to her. Yeah, good luck for the season.
Her kick there just offline, clearing the pack that had set itself about 5 metres out from goal. And the first score goes the way of the visitors. It's Goodwin Wissink who brings it back in for the Tigers. A good long kick, but Rowley judging it nicely, marking just outside the attacking 50. She'll poke a kick into the forward pocket. It wasn't well directed. Claremont should be able to rebound. The long kick comes out, but Peel have set up nicely behind the ball. Here's Verrier, one of a number of players selected in the under-18s team during the week. Stabs it in short. Dowson's got another opportunity. She's caught. Good tackle. Come back to Verrier. Tried to duck out of that tackle. Eventually uses her strength and gets away. Honjul comes through again. Her kick was partly blocked. Here's Dickey. Puts it into space. Clever kick. It's a 1-on-2 though. Could be coming straight back. A little bit of a shove from behind there by McKinley. She gets the ball back and then bounces a kick towards half forward. Coming the opposite direction. The Tigers there. Kick was smothered. Again, congestion around the football. The umpire might come in to separate them here with a ball up. She's certainly letting them play on.
Nice try, Dave.
I was hoping that something might happen to break it up. The Tigers do have an opportunity here, though. A bit of space on our broadcast side of the ground for Ella Smith, but she left the ball behind. Good tackling from the Thunder again. Umpire spotted a free kick this time. It'll be holding the ball. And Bartlett will get the free kick. She's been very busy in the opening 4 minutes of this game.
That's something that I've noticed with the games that I've seen is the increased skill level with these girls now that have had the AFLW experience and or been in academies with the relevant teams.
So Bartlett puts them inside 50. The ball tumbles off her boot. She didn't strike that as nicely as she would have liked. Nice collect there from Roden Zimdale. Gets it away to Stewart. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Claremont have been unable to get it past the halfway line so far. Peel go forward again. Mark taken at half forward. Kick from Malloy to the pocket. Cleared the head of the target in Breslin. Claremont able to get back in number. The ball appeared to be socket out of the hands there of Ella Smith. She won't get a free kick. It goes out of play. Boundary throw in.
Good to see Jasmine Stewart getting her hands on the ball there. Hasn't been able to impact at the stoppages, but would like to see a bit more for her. Definitely a player to watch in this game.
Used her right foot too.
She was standing free at the front of this boundary throw-in for a moment, but eventually the Thunder players have come forward to cover her. Honjul, high kick, hasn't travelled the required distance, so Smith will need to move this on quickly. She does, and it works out nicely. Mark taken by Urseg. This is Leah. As Dickey breaking short on the wing, she goes longer than that. Wasn't well directed. In the end, McKinley was favoured by the kick. Circles around onto her right boot, comes inboard, and Verrier has it.
Zoe Timmers just caught behind her opposition player there and allowed her to win the ball in front.
Verrier's kick goes inside 50. Hardy tracking it, left it for a teammate. Breslin has the open goal square, bounces at goalward, and she's finished it off nicely. So they've done all the attacking in the opening few minutes of the game, Peel, and finally have reward for their efforts. And a goal on the board to Peel Thunder.
Good ball movement there from Peel. They got it in nice and quick. We've seen that a lot. The goals tend to come when the forward line is a bit more open. Obviously, a bit hard to break through that congestion, and they did that one quite nicely. And Dawson, out the back and managed to get the goal there. Taylor Breslin it was, sorry.
Tigers have been a bit wayward with their execution. A couple of turnovers there when they have been coming off half-back. So if they can correct that and hit up some targets, then they'll be able to move the ball into their forward line.
Lauren Quaife, good leap in the ruck. She's another of the under-18s players that received their jumpers on Monday night. Her team will get a free kick here. Good tackle from Church. And again, it'll be Peel to go forward. Uses the ball well. Good stretch and a mark taken by Bartlett. Made a very bright start to this game. Her kick goes inside the 50-metre arc again. Coming the opposite direction, the Tigers hoping to hold things up for the moment at least. Bartlett's followed up, fires a hand pass backwards. Verrier gets it inside 50 once more. Malloy trapped it well on the bounce, has the open goal square, and Peel have two in a minute. It's danger signs early here for the Tigers. They haven't really been able to go past halfway.
Yeah, they haven't really settled here in this game, and Peel, full credit to them, have really attacked the game and started out strong. Kate Bartlett having a big influence early and really good awareness from her then. She noticed her player had run past her, so she opted to play on nice and quickly, and as we have noticed, to get the ball in so we can use that space, and Bailey Malloy just running in, and no doubt.
Exactly. Tigers need to be first to the ball. That's as simple as that, and then use it efficiently once they do get it in their hands.
So just 8 minutes played in this game, and Peel have totally dominated. Quaife leaps early. Tap one, though, by the Tigers there. Out to the broadcast side again. Smith will burrow in here for Claremont. Tackled. Can't get it out just yet. She's sitting on top of the football. The umpire decides to ball it up.
Even again at that contest, then there was the Claremont players too close to the contest.
So Quaife, who started nicely in the ruck, wins that tap. And bus comes out towards Zadnik. No space for Claremont to operate at all at the moment. Here's Smith. Hurry kick. Gets it forward towards Brooke Ursig. Does well. Picks up the ground ball. Sends it forward. Robertson comes up to meet it. Goes between her legs. At least Claremont have got an inside 50 for the first time today. Good effort from Robertson to go a second time. She's caught though. Fired on for a third effort. Gets a hand pass out. Trying to sneak out is White. She's tackled and driven into the ground. Peel's defence holding up well in their first defensive effort. Verrier will clear. Good long kick. Used it beautifully. Malloy on the end of it as well. She made a very good start, Verrier. Started in the centre square. She's used the ball well. That kick wasn't a good one from Malloy. And able to drop in and take them out. Brooke Ursig wants to switch play. Good use of the football. Dickey has it. Put the hand up to shield the eyes from the sun there, Alana Dickey.
It's a beautiful day for footy, isn't it?
Fantastic. Now, the players charged over the mark. I think she thought she'd heard the umpire call play on. This happens a little bit from time to time at all levels of football. Do they say move it on or play on?
They definitely say move it on first, but some players choose not to hear the first word in that one. So just a little bit of patience there and a bit more awareness and giving Claremont their first shot on goal.
It'll come from the boot of Alana Dickey, who did kick a goal in Claremont's first game of the season last week. Not too many harder working footballers around WA than Alana Dickey. Ball spins nicely off the boot, and she's got Claremont's first. So good response from the Tigers after Peel had the first 2 goals of the game.
Well, the thing I liked about that ball movement then was they looked to go to the corridor, get aggressive, and where the space was.
They did notice in the reserves game earlier they tried to switch the ball a bit, maybe not as effective as they would have liked, but obviously one club mentality and the teams are trying to play similarly, so good to see the result there. A bit lucky, I must say, for Alana Dickey to get that one.
Well, certainly the 50-metre penalty helped, didn't it?
Sure did.
There wasn't much on offer before that.
Exactly, and you take them when you can get them.
Why not? So we're back in the middle. Claremont certainly needed that one after Peel had dominated the opening stages of the game.
Beautiful tap by Zadnik.
Yeah, Zadnik used it nicely that time. Colgate fires a hand pass out wide. The Tigers will go forward. Kick up towards half forward. Dickey's there once more. Stood up well in the tackle. Hand pass further down the line and it will spill out of play and a boundary throw in. And Claremont have steadied, which is good to see because the opening 5 minutes were threatening a bit of a Peel blowout.
Yeah, similar to last week. They started slow and I think they only scored a goal in the second quarter, so it's good to see them get one on the board early.
Would both of these teams, it certainly appears on paper that they're probably the weakest 2 teams out of the 5 in the comp at this stage. Would they see these games, these matchups between the 2 sides as being absolutely critical to their season, an opportunity for a win?
I think yes, but also obviously there is a lack less AFLW players in both of these teams, but it does allow the team to bond better throughout the season because the AFL players can only play 15 games in the season, as you know, so having players come in and out of the side and makes it a bit difficult, but these teams can kind of find their flow and coaches can get the matchup sorted and to find the balance right. So going back to your original question, I think yes, they will see this as an opportunity to win a game, but not the only opportunity they'll get all year.
So White has it here for Claremont. She goes as far as she can. Testing down there, the Tigers keeping alive. Dickey already has a goal to her name. Couldn't pick up the ground ball on that occasion. Thunder looked to soccer it out of defensive area. Garlett with the clearing kick in the end, but it'll come straight back. Standing underneath the high ball and able to take a mark is Orm.
Playing her first game of the year after a broken nose in the pre-season match.
It's not a nice way to start your year, is it? One kick goes inside 50 and Freeman able to take the mark. Peel with virtually every player behind the ball there as Claremont looked to move it inside their attacking arc.
Claremont set up the zone well then. Slowed the game down. Peel couldn't play it on their terms.
Garstone, her first possession. Tigers again, Honjul with the kick. High ball, inside 50. Contesting well was Metcalf. Brought it to ground. Gives the Tigers a chance now. She'll get it back. High kick offline though, and away for a behind. So it has been a good response from Claremont, as Peel basically had virtually every possession in the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game. And now the Thunder put under a bit of pressure, and this kick might just about go out. No, Veria good enough just to get possession just before the line. We'll see a boundary throw in.
Both teams ringing the interchanges at the moment.
I think that was our mystery player that kicked it in as well. Number 22 for Peel. We have been given a Claremont players list. We haven't been given a Peel player list, which would be very handy because there was no number 22. And it's certainly not Maddie Yarran as it is in the budget. So hopefully she plays a great game and we'll find out who she is during the game. Claremont with an opportunity again, trying to crash her way through there. Georgie Major gets the hand pass out the back door in the end. Orm with the hurried kick. No one forward just yet for Claremont. Good contest coming from Alex Robinson. And the Tigers fighting hard. Keep it in their attacking end of the ground. Garlett's good enough to clear though for Peel. Nicely done there from Colgate.
Peel are setting up quite well behind the footy, so making it very difficult for Claremont to get a quality inside 50. Very shallow entries here at the moment, nothing too deep.
White keeping it alive again for Claremont. Fires it out the back door. Robinson has it. Kick was partly smothered. Rebounds out towards the boundary. Stays in the field of play in the shadows of these apartments that are built here at Claremont Oval. And we'll see a ball up. What do you make of the Claremont Oval ground? You two have been around Claremont for a long time. It looks very different to what it did look like 5 or 6 years ago.
It's absolutely lovely. But wouldn't it be nice to live in one of these apartments around here?
You'd want to enjoy football, wouldn't you? With the sirens going on all weekend and then training all through the week.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to have a young child needing to go to bed about 6 o'clock at night.
They have had some issues with the residents complaining about the lights, but they do have an agreement. The lights are off sharply at 8:30 every night, so hopefully they can get some sleep.
If you do buy an apartment here, surely you know what you're in for.
Yeah.
You're not surprised.
You would think, yes.
Football ground definitely was here first. So Peel now looking to break into their attacking half. Dowson, plenty of space to operate here. Has a bounce. She's got a player free over the top. Kicks in the Breslin direction. All she needs to do is pick this one up cleanly, spin onto her right foot and have a shot. Won't quite get the distance.
Amanda Robertson tracking back there.
Yeah, read it well, didn't she?
Got the ugly bounce.
It wasn't kind for her at all. Now she's got problems. Gets a hand pass out just in the nick of time, and at least Claremont have been able to hold this one up. Robinson did very well to get back there in defence. She wants to run out of there. No, she's just quickly across to match up on Perry. Throw up. Breslin wins it. Hand pass comes out the back door. Orm with the kick into space. It'll bounce in wide open space as it turns out. Coming up to meet the ball nicely there, Roden Zimdale. Gets it outside the defensive 50. It'll come straight back in though. Perry with the kick. One-handed attempted mark from Baxter. Malloy gave it away to Bartlett. Tumbles it goalward, but getting across is Goodwin Wissink to take a mark on the last line of defence. She charges out of that defensive end and a good long left-booted kick. Gets Claremont out of trouble. Robertson again towards the wing. All could bounce again. It's a footy that's got a mind of its own at the moment.
Certainly has.
Not favouring either side. So counting down towards the end of this term, just a minute or so remaining. And Peel started well, Claremont have responded, and we've got a good contest.
It's been a quarter in 2 halves, hasn't it?
Certainly has.
So the boundary throw-in has Quaife opposed again to Zadnik, who eventually gets the football back, gives it off to Urseg. Her kick gains about 20 metres. Good attack on the football from Anderson, then she was knocked off it. That hand pass puts a teammate under pressure. Probably wasn't the best idea that time from Urseg. And it's Peel with the opportunity for a late goal perhaps. Malloy is there. Good work from Garstone. Got her off the line of the football, and Claremont will be able to clear in the end. Major back towards the wing. Anderson wants to attack the footy hard again. That was good football. On to Dowson. Shrugs that tackle well. Kick didn't get too much on the boot there. And Claremont able to clear the area. Juggled attempt, unable to wrap it up in the end. Brooke White. And the umpire will penalise the person on the bottom of the pack here. It'll be a Claremont free kick.
It was a good attack on the footy then by Brooke White. She was out of position and just charged at it.
And I think the ball just got knocked out by her own teammate there, so unlucky there.
So Claremont run out of time as they look to launch another attack to end this quarter. And as we mentioned, Peel with the opening 2 goals through Breslin and Malloy before Dickey received a 50-metre penalty and got one back for the Tigers. So quarter time here at Claremont Oval, it's Peel Thunder leading by 6 points.
It's great to be back in the West. I've obviously been over in Sydney for a couple of years, and to be home in the nice weather and even better in the blue and gold, it's fantastic. Yeah, I was an inaugural part of the Giants squad in the first year, so been over there for the last 3 years and I guess experienced what it's like to be part of a new team and building something from the ground. So we've got time now, we're in the competition, we can build towards something really special, and I think that comes off the back of the first couple of years and just creating somewhere that everyone wants to be and play some good footy.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First. A network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
The high ball. Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
So quarter time here at Claremont Oval. Peel Thunder lead it by 6 points. 2 goals, 1 to 1 goal, 1 goals to Breslin and Malloy to start the game for Peel before Dickey responded for Claremont. And that's where the game is at right at the moment. A 6-point break in favour of the visitors. David Lindsay alongside Emily Johnson. And Emily, we had a fascinating start to the game. Peel really dominated the opening 5 or 6 minutes, but Claremont have rebounded pretty well.
Yeah, definitely. As Shami alluded to earlier, 2 halves played in a quarter. So it was good to see Claremont bounce back, but Peel definitely, I think, have had the momentum and the ascendancy for majority of the game. And obviously being able to put 2 goals on the board, they would have liked it to be more. But through Kate Bartlett and Taylor Breslin and Ebony Dowson working through the middle, they have really controlled the footy and been able to put it on the scoreboard.
Charmaine Rogers, what did you notice about Claremont? What did they do differently after that early onslaught from Peel Thunder?
I think they just took their time, a bit more composure with ball in hand, and then they were able to execute.
So Peel definitely getting a lot of numbers back in defence. Is that something that they're going to be able to maintain throughout the game? Only 16 players on the field, which is taking a bit of getting used to for all of the girls out there. It's a tough ground to cover when you've only got 16 if you want to push everyone back in defence.
That's a very interesting comment that you make, Dave. Listening to the girls last week, there was a number of comments about how different it is to play when there's only 16 on the ground, and that makes your ball use much more critical.
And it comes, obviously, they set up behind the ball quite well, and their second goal came from a bit of a fast break. It was a bit of a fast break score, or they got it quickly into their forward line from that. So as long as they can get back and then transition the ball quickly up the field, it will work for them. But Claremont need to figure out a way to get the ball into their forward. We struggled last year with kicking goals, I think, week after week. So they just need to find someone that can provide an avenue to go. And they had a lot of shallow entries this first quarter. So in the second, they'll be looking for a few more
the only goal
entries.
from Claremont came from a 50-metre penalty, a mark that was taken just ahead of the centre circles, and then a 50-metre penalty for a player going over the mark. So that's Claremont's only goal so far, which isn't great signs when you're looking for more opportunities up forward, but hopefully for the Tigers' sake they'll be able to find a bit more avenue to goal in this second term.
Yeah, their half-forward line, when they have got possessions, they've been high up the ground and then haven't been able to get it on much deeper.
It comes from the Peel pressure as well.
Absolutely.
They're panicking a bit, and I just need to settle in and relax into the game and get comfortable.
Now, the State 18s were selected or announced during the week as well, and I mentioned already a number of players that are out here this afternoon were handed their jumpers on Monday night. Charmaine, a few from the Tigers as well, which is always good to see for your old club.
Yes, indeed. I believe there was 4 players and a coach in the State 18s, so always promising to see the kids come through.
Yeah, great to see Sasha going over as well. Only relatively new to the game and played in the Rogers Cup for the last couple of seasons, and now she's playing her second game in the league competition, which will put her in really good stead if she gets picked in the eventual team to travel. So good luck to her, and it's great to see Andrew Di Loretto giving her a chance at this level as well. Just seeing that work that Amanda Robertson did, which was pretty much goal-saving, charging all the way down the ground to get herself back into the defensive goal square, which prevented the Peel goal. But so many of these girls in the State 18s across all 5 of the WAFLW teams, Charmaine, are getting an opportunity to play league footy, which is extremely exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you want. You want the kids to have the opportunity to play at the highest level, because that's where the richness of their development comes from, when they're challenged at the highest level. It gives them confidence to realise, that they're in it.
And other states have done it for a number of years, allowing the underage players to play in that top level of competition. And I think it has shown when you travel and just harder bodies and harder at the footy. So I think it'll help the WA girls a lot when they go to those national championships, and they can be more competitive with the Vic Country and Queensland sides.
The other thing as well is that there's no doubt that both the AFL teams have people at the 2 games, and they're looking for those kids coming through.
One of those AFLW players is holding the matchup board down here beneath our broadcast position as well. I just saw Sabrina Duffy walk off in the Peel Thunder tracksuit. She's unable to play at the moment, still recovering from an ankle injury she suffered late in the season for Fremantle, but she's got the magnet board down on the bench, and I'm sure she's sharing some of the knowledge that she took from her first season. Here go the Thunder. Veria, one of those 18s players on cue, gets the kick towards Peel's full forward position, but Claremont's defence holding firm on this occasion. Major was there, gave it away to a teammate in Roden Zimdale, who was able to clear the defensive area. Major down and sore behind play at the moment. Oh, great work from Stewart. Haven't seen much of her in the first quarter.
Another right foot kick
with the opposite
2 kicks,
again.
2 right foot kicks.
Giving it to Robertson, who's been brought to ground, and behind play, Stewart has crashed into the umpire and knocked him over. He got himself to his feet pretty quickly, and he's called for a ball up.
Robertson's recovery was quite good too.
Yeah, I'd say Stewart might have been given a rev up at quarter time, because she's been desperate in the opening minute. Dowson's over the football here. How will the umpire see this? He'll call for a ball up himself.
Good to see Jasmine Stewart applying herself early. She was obviously on the Freo list, but didn't get the opportunity to play this year, but will be looking to have an impact on this game.
She's been tackled high here.
Just got herself a free kick now.
Yep.
We assume she'll go on to the trusty left.
Normally uses the ball pretty well. Well, I've let it down there. Yep. Well, Robertson's done very nicely. Quick hand pass. They've set it up nicely, Claremont, and they'll end up with a shot for goal here through White.
Quick ball movement there.
It was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Quick decision making from
Exactly.
Robertson as well to collect, and then I'm not sure who she gave it
I
to.
think the hands went out to Zadnik.
Yeah, and then a nice quick kick, and Brooke White obviously worked into space quite nicely.
So directly in front, about 25 out when she puts boot to ball here. A chance to level the scores inside the first couple of minutes of this second quarter. And the Tigers liked it straight off the boot. White has a goal, and that's a great start from Claremont. And after Peel had done all the early damage in the early stages of the first quarter, Claremont have held up very nicely. They've now levelled the scores.
I think that came from quick ball movement and the aggression at the ball as well. They were pretty keen in all contested areas then to be first to the ball to get their hands on it.
So a very bright start for Claremont in the second quarter. There's no breeze here today, is there? I don't think there's no flag that we can see anyway, but the trees normally give us a pretty good indication here at Claremont Oval, and they're pretty much stagnant at the moment, so no real advantage to either side. But a great start there from Claremont. Nice piece of ruck work in the middle again from Zadnik. The Tigers get a high kick forward, coming off the wing position. Freeman able to wrap it up though for Peel. Puts it into space. That mark should have been taken there from Barnden. Put it to ground. Peel do have the 3-on-2 here, but Ersek's done well. Had her hands to the football. Couldn't hit the target with a hand pass though. Barnden over it. Does nicely out to Veria. Comes inboard. She's got a couple of players to choose from. Dowson, well, she stood off and waited for her teammate in Rowley to go for the football. They both ended up trying to shepherd. Rowley got it out. Now Veria has another chance. Tackled by Stewart, but got the kick away. Towards centre half forward. Garstone leads in the race. Spins back onto the right boot and comes back to where the traffic was. And she's kicked it pretty well. Erseg drops the mark, but she's got company. She's able to get her kick away. Garlett will intercept though for Peel. Pressure comes from Robertson. And it affects the kick nicely. Allows Erseg to come in and take a well-judged mark.
Well-judged, yes, exactly.
Pokes her kick over the top. Coming up to take this mark is Roden Zimdal.
Good mark from Leah Erseg there. Didn't really worry about her player, just read the ball nicely, kept her eyes on the ball and landed safely in her lap.
And the contest here that Veria wants to win. Had an opportunity there. Played for the free kick. It works out okay. Comes out the back. Chance to clear the ball from Demi Little. Some good scouting work at quarter time from Emily Johnson. Found out that number 22 is Demi Little. She was our mystery player in the first quarter. Listed in the footy budget as number 23. Wearing 22 here today for Peel. Ball stuck at centre half forward for Claremont. Now they break inside. Robertson wants this one. She's dragged off the footy. Umpire calls play on. Nice tackle. Claremont with another chance to set something up. Standing up well in defence though and clearing the area is Anderson. It's going to come straight back. Stewart marks again.
I'd like to see her really get hold of this ball and send it deep into Clement's forward line.
Well, all the leads are very short, aren't they? There isn't too much on offer deep, and that's where she goes. And Anderson's read it best, although they've got over the back of the defence. Has anyone touched it? It goes all the way. I reckon it's a goal.
What a ripper.
She's kicked that from 60 metres out.
Good goal,
Jasmine Stewart. Well, you said you wanted to go long.
There we go. Yep.
I think an example there of the shallow entries is all the Claremont players were outside 30, and Jazzy, I'm going to give her the credit and say she meant to do that, but
it looked like she loaded up for a Tory, so
that trusty left boot, if she can use it a bit more, it'll be handy.
Yeah, and effectively as well. But we do know that from Jasmine that she does have a really strong kick. She's often told by her teammates just to take a couple of Wheaties off. So
well, she used them all there.
She did.
That was amazing.
Just bounced perfectly as well.
I'm sure the Claremont coaching staff have had a little word to her at quarter time, because we hardly saw her in the first term, and she's been outstanding in the first 5 minutes of this quarter. Peel look for the response. A soccer kick forward from Perry towards full forward. Breslin collects. Quick hand pass. It ends up with a teammate who can straighten up Hardy. Oh, great charge down work in defence. And Claremont are able to clear. It was Hongel who got it away. Down the line towards a teammate in Roden Zimdal. Now Zadnik slaps it to Stewart. Uses that left boot, and there it is. She's had too much power there.
Yep.
Used the driver instead of the 6-iron, and she's put it out of bounds on the full. So it'll be a free kick to Peel. No one wants to take it. Eventually they're going to call a player in. It'll be Greta McKinley.
Another one of these new rules that the girls are taking a little bit of time to adjust to.
And ball didn't spin well off the boot. Intercepting is Roden Zimdal. She might give them another chance. She does. Straight back to McKinley. She's going to send it back to where most of the Claremont players are standing. And they'll win it again. Stewart wants to break the tackle. Wants her left side. Has a bounce. And then charges away. Good kick into space. Puts it over the top of Smith. Or Metcalf it is, in fact. Metcalf with her kick. A bit untidy. It's been blocked. And now they're able to defend here, Peel. Little wins the footy. Loses it now, though. Metcalf has it once more. Lost it in the tackle. It's become scrappy for the moment. Dowson, maybe she can find a target with her kick. She can. It's a good ball. And she's set up nicely for Hardy. As a player leading over the top, decides to ignore that and go longer towards the top of the 50. Almost thrown forward by Peel. It'll work out nicely. Baxter has some space. Has Breslin in the goal square. She'll go beyond that and have a shot herself. Landed virtually on the behind line. It spins away and we'll see a boundary throw in.
Interesting, Breslin up forward. She usually plays on the half back line, so she's got a bit of strapping on the knee, so maybe something there, and just looking to use her skills to try and put some forward pressure on.
Kick the first goal of the game, of course. Now, the boundary umpire's only come in about 3 or 4 steps this time. Normally supposed to come in 10 metres with these new rules in the women's game. Peel. I'd love to sneak another goal here. Claremont have kicked the last 3 to take the lead. That should be a push in the back free kick, I would have thought. Instead, the umpire will ball it up. I thought there was a saddle put on there.
I was just going to allude to a rodeo.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a bit tough on the Claremont player on the bottom of the pack, but unable to, well, wasn't rewarded. Here's Stewart again charging through the pack. Second quarter, she's set it alight. This kick over the top of Metcalf, who chases hard, needs to touch it, doesn't do so. So Peel will get the free kick.
Good kick to advantage, just a little bit too far in front of Metcalf there.
So the new rules, of course, are that it's last possession out of play if it's gone out between the arcs. We saw a ball go out of bounds inside the attacking 50 a moment ago for Peel, and that's a boundary throw in. So Colgate has it for Claremont, comes inside towards Zadnik, dropped the mark, and now she's got some problems, although she knocks it to the advantage of Dickey. Strong enough to get the kick forward again. Claremont starting to get a few more numbers around the ball, which is good to see early in the game. Peel certainly had that advantage. Tackle applied by Freeman, ball comes out, and we'll see a ball up again now.
Interesting from, sorry Charmaine, from Chloe Colgate there, just trying to extract the ball to stop it from being a ball up, but then got caught herself.
I was going to say the strength from Dickey then to stand up in that tackle and just move the ball forward. I think she had about 2 or 3 players on her, so that was really good as well.
She's done that a couple of times, and this time she's been the tackler, and she was rewarded. A very hard tackle. Cheers you hear for Jasmine Stewart, who comes to the bench after a blistering start to this quarter. Peel looked to clear and go straight to Leah Urseg, searching for a sister with the hand pass. She leaves it for Colgate. Hand pass to Dickey, who's tackled without the ball, surely.
Gee whiz.
Wow, that was missed. They do get it forward in the end, Claremont anyway. Good contest, one-on-one, just outside the goal square. Anderson gets a hand pass away. Peel player down and hurt just off the ball here. And again, Amanda Robertson's been thrown to ground hard. She's copped a few heavy tackles so far this afternoon. The umpire stops play for a ball up and a bit of attention to a Peel player who is injured.
Nothing new for Amanda Robertson. She's won the most courageous award down here for a number of years, so we know that she'll bounce back up, that's for sure.
Doesn't mind throwing her arms in the air and making a few dramatic noises either, old Robbo. Young Robbo, I mean.
You know the players do look back on these games, don't they? They go through your commentary.
I do, and I will cop that, but oh well.
It is what it is.
So Bedford, I think it is, who was injured for Peel, but she's okay now. She's waved the trainers away and we can restart. Claremont with the only 2 goals of this second quarter. Dickey again trying to charge away through the pack. Caught on this occasion, and the free kick will go to McKinley. McKinley moves it on quickly to Dowson in the back pocket. It's been on Claremont, hasn't it? Dowson's short pass gives Leah Ursig, or Brooke Ursig rather, a chance. White feeds it back. Oh, that's another strong tackle. I think this one might be rewarded as well. It ended up being a 2-woman tackle.
Robinson, that was.
Yeah, she got crunched. And Peel will get the free kick. It's Jacqueline Atkinson who has it. Tumbles a kick down the line. Nicely judged by Rowley. I saw this girl in a school match a couple of years ago. She's a real talent coming through. I'd love to see her in open space here today and show just how quick and talented she is. Claremont with a chance here through White makes the spoil on Rowley.
White did well then.
Yeah, she'll go again here. Could have just about got a free kick for a push in the back there as well. Claremont with plenty of numbers around this football. Need a bit of clear space to set something up. They're not going to get it. Peel applying the pressure. McKinley's been good at that particularly in the last few minutes. Nice feedback hand pass gives Orm a chance to set something up, and she pinpoints the pass. Finds White. White has players queuing up at centre half forward, kicks in that direction. Sneaking forward is Ella Smith. And Smith kicks to a 2-on-1. Set up nicely for Dickey at the back to juggle the mark and play on. Needs to strike the tackle. Gets a hand pass away. Can she find a target? Robertson is there. Might have been pushed in the back. Another chance for a free kick perhaps for Claremont, but not paid. We'll see a ball up. Top of the goal square.
Umpy's put the whistle away in the forward line.
They can't call it, they can't see, Pat.
That's true.
They do the best job that they can.
Ball thrown in the air. Clearing kick comes from Whale. Back with the flight. Gallagher pursued it, couldn't take it. Garstone sends it long with the right boot towards the pocket, but Peel favoured by the kick, and it was judged nicely by Anderson. Anderson on the way out to Atkinson. And now it's Peel's turn to try to absorb this pressure that Claremont have brought. That kick didn't travel nicely off the boot, but it did travel nicely to a teammate, as it turns out. Church has it. Good build up here from Peel. Breslin traps that ball nicely, spins out of a tackle and sends it forward, but there's plenty of Tigers around. Mark was dropped. Really should have been wrapped up on that occasion from Major. Breslin tries to sock her off the deck. Hardy, good little feedback hand pass to Malloy, who was tackled front on, caught holding the ball. Just about threw it away there under the pressure that came from Major.
That's what you like to see. The pressure, in all areas of the ground and second and third efforts.
Has it been reversed, Charmaine? Is it now Claremont applying all the pressure? We saw Peel doing it in the first 5 or 6 minutes.
Well, they certainly had some control of this quarter, that's for sure.
Garstone couldn't take the chest mark, but she follows up well with a good tackle on Dowson.
Second, third efforts. It's so exciting. From a coaching group at Claremont, will be really happy with that.
She's in the ruck for this occasion at least. Garstone, she comes down hard after copping a knee to the ribs. Her brother, of course, plays league footy for Perth. And she's showing what she can do this afternoon here for Claremont in the WAFLW. She'll do the ruck work again against Quaife.
She's got a bit of a fast bowler's run up on the ruck contest. Might need to get a bit closer so she can get there.
It's a good long run up, isn't it? Strong play from Colgate, barging her way through. White, who's been good in this second term, wins the footy. Back to Leah Urseg. High kick. Robinson, the only player down there for Claremont for the start at least. Whale collects for Peel. Looks to clear. There's not much on, although a lead does come from Hill. Juggles and takes the mark. Wants to play on. That's a bit audacious, but she's done it nicely.
She's got away with it.
Did well. Got it to the wing. Hardy now. Peel do have some space to use as they go forward. The kick favours Perry. Wants to come back inside. Hand pass back to Hill. Hill will go down inside 50. Good desperate effort from Honjul. Makes the spoil and then applies solid physical pressure. Sockers towards the boundary. Orm there to support. And Claremont have done well. And Honjul stood up extremely well in defence so far today.
She has, and that was great support there from Kate Orm, getting on a bike to get the outnumber down there.
Dickey was fighting hard again for Claremont. Once again stood up well in the tackle. Here's Rowley. Wants to take on the player on the mark. About to be caught. Goes high up and under with the kick. Garstone forced to stand and wait. Did well, but couldn't take the mark. McKinley's strong. Barges through one tackle. Caught the second time, though. And that was Garstone once more. She refuses to give up.
Great determination from Garstone. She's had a bit of a purple patch the last five minutes or so.
Yeah, as a defender, that's what you really want to see. Just harder. She does have her hands on her hips at the moment, so if she's got a couple more efforts, then maybe can get a breather.
Super kick there from Verrier. Found the chest of Hardy towards full forward. Big leap and jump from Breslin. She's gone straight to the back of Garstone, who's very sore now at ground level. Atkinson can set something up here for Hill. She's about 35 out, long on goal, but it's offline. Garstone still getting herself to her feet just on the right of your screen at the moment. And a behind for Peel. It's their first score of the quarter. First score since the 8-minute mark of the first term.
Garstone might find she has a couple more ribs now. split some in half.
Good to see Peel bounce back to kind of level it a bit. They obviously want to look to get on the scoreboard in the last couple of minutes, and again taking a mark.
Breslin's been very physical there, and she takes a fine mark. She knocked over the Claremont player after she kicked the ball out of the defensive goal square, and probably might have been penalised on another day, but she's definitely trying to make her impression on the game right now.
Took the wind out of Kate Orm then, sucking in the big ones.
So she kicked the first goal of the game. And she leads like a real full forward coming out of that goal square. Can she finish it like a full forward? Certainly can. And Peel take the lead. It's been a very good couple of minutes from the Thunder. They've responded well. And we're set up for a fantastic second half, I think.
The way Peel controlled the last 5 minutes of the play, they're really determined over here on the broadcast wing just to stay in the contest and then move the ball out to the fat side to some space. And they showed some real composure when they got their hands on the ball as well.
Yeah, and that repeat entry as well, and Breslin found herself free. The Claremont player's not quite getting back, or just a bit reactive to the ball coming in as well.
So time ticking away towards half-time. Garstone has made her way to the bench, but she's okay. She's waved the physios away. So there's still time for either side to score here. Thunder with that goal reclaiming the lead. Nice work in at the centre bounce from Zadnik. Down to a team in Colgate. That's a great mark from White. Had a very good second quarter. Kicks long towards full forward. It spills over the back to Robertson. Good hand pass to Dickey. The square is open. Needs to get boot to ball. Great tackle from Peel. Wonderful defensive effort, saving a goal. And it's a behind to lock things up as we approach half-time.
A couple of chances now for Alana Dickey. Wouldn't mind seeing her try and get the ball on her boot a bit earlier and not worrying about the player taking her down, just worrying about kicking the ball.
It was Garlett that saved the day on that occasion for Peel. And as a result, I think we might be locked up.
Zadnik up there.
Great effort from Zadnik. Could be a chance here for Claremont late. White marks, plays on. Probably could have composed herself. It doesn't matter. She kicks the goal, and Claremont will have the lead at half-time. 2 goals to White in this quarter. And Claremont, I don't think we'll even get to restart the game before the half-time siren goes. There it is. The Tigers lead it by a goal at half-time. 4-2-26. To Peel Thunder, 3-2-20. White has kicked 2. Dickey and Stewart a goal each, while for Peel 2 goals to Breslin, and Malloy has a goal as well. So in that second quarter, Claremont kicked 3 goals, Peel kicked 1, and the Tigers have turned a 6-point deficit at quarter time into a 6-point lead at half time. Time for us to take a break here at half time at Claremont Oval. The Tigers lead it by 6 points.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First. A network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
People telling me I wouldn't make it gave me all the motivation I needed. I was lucky enough to be picked up as one of the first ever AFLW players for the Eagles, and I just can't explain it. I can't explain the feeling. It was an absolute dream come true. How involved everyone is, how accepted and how equal the club is. Not even just this club, it's the footy community that's just a family. And that heartfelt feeling of, you know, you're here and you belong. I'm honestly so excited to get started, so bring on 2020.
The high ball. Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdle. Well, if you that day.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
It's been fantastic to see Paris's journey. She started with a lot of the local sports, played football at a younger age, but had to give it up because it just didn't exist anymore for her.
It's a bit sad to think that girls had to pick their second favourite sport, I guess, while their brothers or their friends got to continue on.
When the opportunity arose for her to play football at a higher level, she came on down to the Claremont Football Club, and it was just really fantastic to have another reason to hang around at the club, and I've just been so proud to watch her grow. Being a new player, welcomed into the team, to becoming captain within 12 months.
From about the age of 11, you could definitely see that there was something there. Paris has always been competitive with the boys.
For me personally, the fact that my brother and I are at that one club now is great for me in terms of getting to be at the same club as a really special family member, but also just the fact that we have their support and the women's competition is able to grow in terms of developing our girls so that they can continue on pathways just like the men's do.
Ocean Beach, it's probably one of the more iconic places in Denmark. Dad always got me down there for recovery, using the sand to be able to build up strength and endurance in the legs.
The Denmark communities had a massive influence on my sporting career. Living in Denmark, sport was everything. Every day of the week we were playing something else. The community backing of Denmark for everyone that's playing sport and all their sporting teams is just a really great family-like community to be a part of.
When we shifted here, we always said if the opportunity came up for them to do anything that was out of Perth, we'd always make it happen. You do whatever you can, you know. You don't think of it as a sacrifice. A few hours without sleep's not bad.
Yeah, gender diversity in football is so important because of the opportunities that it presents for not just men but for the women who really want to play this game.
You've got a whole generation that just think it's great they've got that opportunity and they can pursue it. It's fantastic.
The best part about it is knowing that we're paving the way for the younger generation. To be someone that's helping to sculpt that pathway for those girls makes me really proud.
Great story there about the Laurie family, a family very well known around these parts here at Claremont Oval. David Lindsay alongside Emily Johnson and Charmaine Rogers here, your broadcast team for our match for streaming, the Tigers and Peel Thunder. Emily, I imagine you would know Paris Laurie fairly well. We're looking forward to seeing her out here at some stage for Claremont over the season.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of playing with her 2 seasons before this one, and she's a bit of a character and just a genuine person, so it's really good to see her doing so well. And like she mentioned in the package there, great to be playing at the same club as her brother. And yeah, I've seen him down here for the last few years cheering her on and bring some friends down as well. So it's really nice to see that connection there.
He, of course, a 2-time premiership player in the WAFL for Claremont. Here's the ladder as it stands coming into this afternoon's game. Subiaco with the perfect start to the season with a couple of wins. And then the Sharks and Swans who play each other today. That match going on at the moment, a home game for East Fremantle and the two teams we're watching. Currently sitting in the bottom 2 spots, Charmaine Rogers, and obviously whichever team happens to chalk up the win today will leave their opponents sitting on the bottom at this early stage of the year.
Well, it's a close contest, as we expected. So we'll see, I think maybe the fitter team will run out this journey.
Here's the results from the reserves in round 5. We saw the Tigers beat East Fremantle by 29 points. West Perth went down to the Peel Thunderbirds. Subiaco a comfortable win over East Perth. And the final match of the round saw South Fremantle a big victory over Swans. South, of course, Emily, are the team that hold a provisional licence for this competition next year. And if everything goes right for them, we'll make it a 6-team comp.
Yeah, hopefully they have a few players that have been permitted out to some of the league clubs. So Lara Road and Zimdal for Claremont, and it's good to see Tani Testa and Beatrice Devlin at Subiaco as well, plying their trade. And hopefully next year they can go back to South Fremantle and they can be competitive in their first year in the competition.
And the Rogers Cup, who better to talk about the Rogers Cup than Charmaine Rogers herself, looking at those results there. West Perth, unfortunately, unable to score a goal against the Peel Thunderbirds. East Fremantle, a big win over Claremont. Subiaco, too good for East Perth. And a very tight one between Swans and South Fremantle, a 4-point win to the Bulldogs. Charmaine, there's a lot of talent in the Rogers Cup each and every year, and it's only getting stronger.
Exactly, and that's the reason we set it up. You can't do anything without a strong foundation and base, and so to grow and develop those kids coming through, we needed that gap in the pathway filled.
So many of those Rogers Cup players over the last few years are out here this afternoon. There's one of those, Jasmine Stewart, that one on the non-preferred right, not her best kick, but we saw an unbelievable goal, which we'll see shortly in these highlights, Emily, where she lobbed one from about 60, cleared the pack, and it bounced through. But what changed in that second quarter for Claremont? There's no real breeze to speak of today, but most of the goals have been to the right of screen. But what was different for Claremont in that second quarter?
I can't know for sure, but going on last week, their second quarter was their strongest quarter as well. It seems like they're not quite ready when they start, so maybe something to do with their warm-up or just nerves. They just got to get rid of the nerves. But it was great to see them bounce back in that quarter, and I think we are in for an epic battle in this second half.
Just saw a goal there from Brooke White. Charmaine, what a quarter from her.
She did. She had a great quarter, didn't she? She was consistent throughout the whole quarter. Pretty much took every opportunity that came her way.
And well supported up forward as well. I got stuck into Amanda Robertson before, but she has been doing well. Managing, she bounces up quite quickly after she gets tackled, and she's used the ball really well as well, getting it to advantage most of the time, and obviously fighting back hard in defence as well.
Her and Brooke White have actually worked quite well together. You talk about, in games of footy, you talk about the synergies between players. I thought that partnership has worked well.
And it's good to see Zoe Timmers get involved a bit more. She's a very quick player, and we saw that when she almost chased down Jasmine Stewart's goal after that long kick, and we'd like to see her do a bit more. She got that assist for Brooke White before, but using her pace a bit and leading up the ground and getting more involved would be nice.
Here's that goal from Jasmine Stewart, front edge of the centre square, if you don't mind. It cleared the pack, landed 15 metres out, and got the very kind home ground roll all the way across the line, and it surprised even her, but she got a massive cheer from the Claremont fans here. She came to the bench a few minutes after that, and she'll be telling everyone about that for weeks, I would think.
She certainly will. I've had the pleasure of coaching Jasmine over the years, and she's a good, strong Claremont player, and it's great to have her here, and good to see her doing so well.
I remember seeing her running amok for St Mary's one day and thinking, I think this girl can probably play a little bit, and she certainly could. But Peel did well. They responded with a goal, but the Tigers right on the siren with Brooke White's goal just re-establishing that lead. Here's Alana Dickey in action there. She's done a good job at times, Charmaine, particularly under pressure. That's her tackle she applied that was rewarded. But you mentioned once or twice her ability to stand up under pressure and literally keep her feet in the tackle has been really important.
Yeah, her strength through the hips is really good. And she's one of the smartest footballers out there. Like sometimes they say it's not what happens with the hands and feet, it's what's happening in the mind, between the ears, and Alana Dickey's got a really good football brain.
She got caught on that occasion and was penalised. I did have a chance to have a chat with her after their first game last week. She said she enjoyed the opportunity to sort of coach while she's out on the field, which is great for her, and she's really important, I guess, with a fairly young group of forwards around her in that sort of way.
Well, she has got that role down here at Claremont. She's forwards coach, so, different to have a playing coach, but it seems to be working, and with a young group, like you say, to have that leadership out on the ground's a good thing.
You can see here most of the highlights in that second quarter taking place in Claremont's forward 50, really, and they did a fantastic job. That was the knee to the ribs for Garstone, and then she copped one in the back, Emily, probably about 2 minutes after that when she was defending as well, so a very sore body for her at half-time.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be fine. She came off at the end of that quarter for a bit of a breather, so just give her a bit of an extra break over the half-time, but I'm sure we'll see plenty more from her coming. One player we haven't mentioned much is Chloe Colgate. It's good to see her in the league side again. She played reserves last week, and she was in a few of these highlights and just in and around the ball, and she's quite a smart player, very skillful as well, so I think we'll see a bit more from her as well, see her keep going through.
I'd like to see that, yeah. She is, Emily said, she's one of the most skillful, silky type players going around, so hopefully she can bring the work rate and get the opportunity.
Also good to see Taylor Breslin as well doing it at the other end, standing up nice and strong, and she attacks the ball hard and she plays hard, so it's good to see her doing that today and getting a bit of reward.
She's definitely looked dangerous up forward for Peel Thunder today. Peel trailed by a goal at half-time. There's your highlights from the first half. We're sure to fill plenty of highlights in the second half as well. Back with all of the action after these messages.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First. A network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
It's a high ball. Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia creeper, well, didn't want to keep her, just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
Hi, Dom Sheed from the West Coast Eagles. I grew up playing my junior footy at Mines Rovers Football Club, just like Kerry. Find your local footy club and register today.
Visit play.afl for more information.
AFL is a game for everyone. Find a version that's right for you.
And there's the Tigers going through their preparations as they get ready to start the third quarter. They lead by a goal over the top of Peel Thunder here at Claremont Oval. David Lindsay, Emily Johnson and Charmaine Rogers, your commentary team here this afternoon. Round 3 in the WAFLW. Subiaco have the bye this round and East Fremantle are hosting Swan Districts. These two teams winless in the first 2 rounds. They both have had one bye and also a loss in their opening 2 rounds of the season. So both teams desperate for that first win of the year, and there's a game to be won here because it's certainly on the Peel Thunder team in their huddle, getting the messages from their skipper down there as well. So chance for them to reset after they'd started so well, kicked 2-1 in the first quarter, and then the Tigers responding with 3-1 in the second term to take the lead at half-time as the ground has now in shadow. The clouds have started to creep in. It was a beautiful day earlier today. No chance of any rain, I don't think, for us here in the second half, but things getting a little bit cooler here as we edge towards winter here in Western Australia. The Peel Thunder huddle breaking up and players heading out into their positions as the Tigers go in for one last little rev up from their skipper. We said that in women's footy all the time, don't we? Just the little hands in. Yep. Go Tigers, go Thunder. Makes a big difference, I'm sure.
Yeah, massive difference. I think that's the louder you cheer, the better you start. So.
Well, that was a loud cheer from the Tigers, so let's see what happens there. As the players come to the bench for both of the sides. And we look out on the field to see if there's any major changes. Doesn't appear to be at this stage. Interesting, as you've said, Emily, a couple of times to see Breslin playing deep forward. She's coming out of the goal square today, and most of her football throughout her career has been played as a defender, but you did pick up that there's heavy strapping on her right knee, so we're assuming there's a minor injury there for her that's perhaps restricting her slightly.
Could be there, but it's good to see her using her attack on the ball and her aggression quite well. She often does it in the backline and stops goals, so it's good that she can keep the ball locked in the Peel forward line and create goals for them there. So good from her. Hopefully everything's all right with the knee and we see her plenty more this season.
She's been very aggressive at the football coming out of that goal square. Quaife in the ruck wins it down to Veria. Liked her game today. She's gets some sort of a hand pass away. But the Tigers are good enough to hold it up for the moment. Veria might have a second opportunity here. No, she leaves it for a teammate in Freeman. He tumbles it over her shoulder up towards half forward. Honjul does nicely, blocking the footy but unable to take possession. Have a second opportunity, overruns it. Little was there. Zadnik standing off the footy, leaves it for a teammate, and the kick goes high towards the centre of the ground. Good mark.
That's a good grab, isn't it? Nice strong hands there.
That's Chloe Metcalf. He decides to send it out to the far side of the ground. Cleverly knocked on. Can they follow up and gain possession here, Claremont? Almost overrunning the football, accidentally shinning it forward as well. And then wraps her up in the tackle. It was a good effort down there from Timmers. She'll apply another tackle. No, that wasn't her this time. That was Metcalf once more. Stewart comes in, knocked over in that contest. Brooke Erseg applying some pressure. Tackle by Zadnik. Ball drops free. McKinlay into the middle of the ground. Garstone did it well. Wants to give off the hand pass to Orm. It was a good option in the end. Orm sends her kick. It'll land right on the 50. Good tackle from behind by White. Spills the ball free. Here's Stewart. Can't take possession cleanly on the first attempt. McKinley over the football. Has it ripped out of her hands by Zadnik. Stewart overrunning it on this occasion again. It's tight and it's scrappy, and that's a high tackle. Missed by the umpire. Good tackle now from Perry. Umpires have certainly put the whistle away. Eventually we're going to have to call for something here. It will be a ball up.
Yeah, and just neither team really looked like they were going to get the ball out of that congestion. Yeah, no one had really set up around the footy, the one-on-one either side of it, but no real structure around the contest.
So Peel in defence. Should be able to clear. Perry with the high kick. No, this is Perry, in fact. Gave a shove on Stewart. And Stewart will get the free kick.
Good to see Perry back playing footy. She had a knee reconstruction last year and has worked really hard in the last 12 months to get herself back playing. So really good to see her back out here again.
Stewart almost within range here from 70.
Well, that's true.
Cleared the pack again with her kick. Out the back. Urseg leaves it for Timmers. Snaps straight into the oncoming player, Freeman, and we'll see a boundary throw in.
It's a good point you make, Emily, about Georgia Perry. Great to see the likes of these girls that have gone through the hard yards with a recon of some description and come back, and by all accounts she's playing really well.
Quaith wins in the ruck. Dickey lurking. She becomes the tackler. White is there applying pressure as well. Barnden over the football. Socket out of there by Leah Ursig. Dowson wants to make body contact first. Now she goes and collects the football. Hand pass over the top to Little. High kick. Claremont in good position. Stewart came in and attacked it hard. She was knocked over though by Rowley. Little knocked off the footy herself by Ursig. Gains about 15 metres. White just took her eye off the ball at the critical moment. Lots of teal jumpers around. Variat clears. This is where all the Claremont jumpers are. Zadnik has it. So Claremont setting up well behind the footy. Peel with plenty of numbers back in defence. So it could easily bounce from one line to the other here, although Dickey wants to win it for Claremont. She knocks it forward, soccers it forward. Robertson soccers off the deck. It's an open goal square. Just offline.
Sneaky, isn't she?
Robertson.
She's a smart footballer. She works very hard and unlucky there. It had Zoe Timmers in the goal square as well, but a bit difficult to get it to her.
Just couldn't get that hook around.
So Whale to do the kicking in. She charges out of the goal square. Uses her full distance. Kicks for distance as well. Freeman close to the line. Happy enough to see it over. Another boundary throw in. The Tigers' lead is 7 points.
Sorry, you go, Charmaine.
Tigers had the ball in their forward half for pretty much of this third quarter and haven't quite had the reward for that effort yet.
They've gone inside 50 again. White wants a hand pass here. She'll receive. She's got time to line them up. Kick looks pretty good off the boot. Just across the face. Probably could have run in a little bit closer if she really wanted to, but decided she was within range. And unfortunately for Claremont, just pushing it across the face. So 2 early behinds for the Tigers. Whale will play on again out of the goal square.
People have done well with that structure and play.
There's plenty of space for them, isn't there? No Claremont players back to defend close to the line. And I guess, again, we'll talk about that 16 players on the field. There has to be space somewhere.
Yeah, it seems like they're not having the short kick. They're pulling the players out. So it allows that kicker in to actually run the full measure and get out. So they can, as we see here, obviously Claremont footy, but they got the ball out 70 metres out. So it makes it harder for Claremont.
White made a good contest there on the Garstone kick, and she'll hold it up for a ball up.
I'd like to see the players, generally speaking, getting into better positions around that contest. We've seen them at the back end of the contest or too far around the sides.
Robertson just snuck in and took that one, and some solid contact after taking the mark. And the distance, I think, will be beyond her. She's got a good lead coming straight up the channel at the moment. That's ignored. She'll go into the pocket instead. And it was a good option. It's been wrapped up by Metcalf.
Metcalf was the leading goal kicker at West Perth last year, so another one of those permitted players that having the opportunity to play in a league side from a club that didn't get one of those licenses.
We're right behind her kick. Metcalf looks good off the boot. Has it got the distance right to the line? Dowson stretches. I think it's over for a goal. Good finish from Metcalf. Great setup from the Tigers. And they're out to their biggest lead of the game now. 14 points.
Well, we spoke about that earlier, about the composure with ball in hand, and just in that passage of play then, Claremont were quite controlled with their disposal. So it was good use of the footy.
I'd like to see Peel really attack this centre bounce down here and try and get a centre clearance forward, get an inside 50 and get something on the scoreboard. Looking at Adam Dance, he was pretty relaxed at half-time when he came back up with thumbs up and high fives, but just get his thinking hat on now, and I'm sure the girls will bounce back.
And Dancy, the coach of Peel Thunder, sitting in the box alongside us. He did stick his head through the window, didn't he? That was a bit of a wave. Some concerns for him right now. Claremont have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals in this match. And they've really dominated field position for much of that time as well. Now Peel with a chance to break towards their attacking 50. Colgate standing in the way. Trapped the ball well there, almost bounced it back basketball style to herself. Dickey tried to slap it over her shoulder to a teammate cruising past. Couldn't quite get it to her. Garland a little fumble. And then we'll see another ball up, I think. The umpire, he's shaped to blow the whistle, then he let it go. Spilled out the back of the pack. Probably could see a slightly quicker whistle on some of these stoppages, I would have thought.
Well, it would help the game flow a bit better, wouldn't it?
Just break it up, get it out of these packs.
I think they sometimes hold the whistle just in case someone extracts the ball and the ball does pop out, because probably rather see, on that occasion it ended up in a ball up, but if they hold the whistle a little longer and then it does pop out, it does give the game an opportunity to open up a little bit.
And Claremont have opened this one up now. They've worked it nicely towards half forward. Metcalf. He's done some very good things, just kicked a goal. This is a wonderful delivery to Robertson, who drops it. Really should have wrapped that one up, Robertson. Very with a clearing kick. Claremont can reload again. Now inside 50, though. Perry's applied a good tackle. Hand pass comes out in the nick of time to Roden Zimdale. She's gone very wide. Timmers close to the line, won't be able to keep it in, but it is just inside the arc, so it's a throw-in rather than a free kick.
Again, ball in hand composure. Whilst the mark wasn't taken by Robinson, that was the correct option to try and get the ball to her and hit her up.
I think Metcalf's done that well a few times today. There's Dickey. She's caught with the footy, but got a hand pass away. Dowson a little fumble. Gave Timmers a chance. She was good enough to get a hand pass out. Banana kick on goal isn't too bad, just across the face from Metcalf. She's having a purple patch.
Again, I'd like to see her take some ground and get a bit closer to, shore up the kick.
It's easy to say from up here to take a bit of time, but they're probably feeling the pressure a lot. Peel fighting hard and managed to stopping the flow. The ball's been down this end the whole time, but Peel's defence has stood up pretty well.
Jackie Atkinson on the kick back in. Kicked almost straight to her under-18s teammate in Smith. And a great diving smother there. No, it's going to bounce on the full. Whose boot did it come off? This is it's going to be a Peel free kick.
Called it off Bella Zadnik's boot, and it did hit her foot, but I thought it hit the deck before it went out.
Handy to see replay of that. Yes.
Yeah.
We might see one at three-quarter time. That's a good pass from Anderson. Finding the teammate in McKinley. She's gone very wide with her kick. Good spoil made by Smith. Down to throw in.
It was a good lead there by Georgia Perry. Second and third changed direction, and she didn't stop. She's worked really well this game.
The boundary umpire comes in 10 metres to do the throw in. It's a long throw in too. It's gone right over the back. Attempted soccer out of mid-air by Colgate, who then gathers the footy, tried to charge through. The hand passes missed the target and opened things up for Peel. Perry got a hand pass away. Hill didn't do much with hers. And then we will see another ball up. So this quarter, just beyond the halfway mark of the third. And Claremont, the only team to score so far in this term.
Yeah, and looking here, Peel's deepest forward is only about 30 metres away from this contest, so they will have to get on their bike, and there is a 3-1 there. So Claremont got a loose player back trying to patrol that area.
Jasmine Stewart's coming on to replace Smith. She's just sitting out wide, waiting for this football. It won't come to her. Freeman gathers, comes inside with a hand pass, opens play up nicely, but the fumble might be costly. It was Baxter who lost it. Coming through and getting boot to ball going over. Gains about 10 metres. Freeman paddles to the advantage of a teammate. Barden's wrapped up quickly. That was Timmers. She's been prepared to put her body on the line and tackle hard. She goes again here with the tackle. That one's thrown away by Anderson. The pressure from Claremont has lifted again. And they've worked hard to keep the ball in their attacking half once more.
It's one of the things you want to see from your forwards is, their ability to get to the contest and make the tackles when the opposition get it.
Nice piece of ruck work that time from Zadnik. A soccer off the deck. Colgate gains 10 yards again. Freeman clears, but to a very dangerous area. If Claremont can mark, they're in position A to set something up. They can't. Hill with a soccer kick. Orm, the quickest player, gets back to the footy. Gets out of trouble nicely as well. The hand pass a bit too hot for a teammate. Major couldn't handle it. Now she'll go again, Orm. Peel did well. Bedford popping up a hand pass. And charging through. A good clearing effort from the Thunder towards the wing. Fickle bounce, but it's set up nicely for Malloy. Out the back is Breslin. All that's needed is for this ball to sit up, and it does. She's 20, she's 15 out. Open goal. Just what the Thunder needed. They're back within 9.
Fast ball movement then from the Thunder, and I think maybe employing that tactic of getting that fast break over the top, and Goodwin was just caught in a bit of dead space there.
She was in no man's land, but didn't stop her trying to get back to Breslin. But this oval-shaped ball, it's takes some
problems today, hasn't it?
Good bounces and some bad bounces. But there you go. It just depends on what side of the fence you're sitting.
So Breslin has 3. She might be eyeing off an AFLW career as a forward. I think she's pretty good up there.
Something to say to. Did she get renewed by Fremantle?
I think she did.
Yeah.
Trent Cooper
have
might
a chat to Trent and say.
Have a think.
Yep.
Well, Coops might be watching this. I think he's over in Ireland at the moment, isn't he? Doing some recruiting.
Looking for a bit of talent,
Yeah.
I understand.
Early in the morning over there. He might have had a Guinness or 2 last night. Might just be waking up and switching on the coverage on the internet. So the Thunder with the goal that they needed to bring themselves back into the contest. They trail by 9 points. If they could sneak one more before 3/4 time and make things very interesting. Dickey knocked over. Leah Urseg with the kick. Towards centre half forward. Leah Urseg following up. She fell over on that occasion. Couldn't take possession. Another ball up. So Peel again looking behind the ball of pushing all their forwards up the ground. Breslin might actually be coming off for a rest as we speak as well. Peel get it out of the danger area towards the centre of the ground. Contest on the wing. It's won by Peel. Malloy with the hand pass over the top. Bartlett started the game so well but really unsighted since then. Goranova's hand pass intercepted. Malloy gets the kick forward. Attacking it and dropping the mark, unfortunately, for Claremont there was Major. Now she's got problems, tackled by 2 Thunder players. Stewart wants to make this footy her own. She tried to crash through. She's caught. Managed to knock it forward anyway. That's a good mark.
Great mark. Great use of the body there.
Just protected the
drop zone.
Space.
A great quarter, Metcalf. This ball gets over the back. White with some space, but again that ball bounces away from her. She tackles her opponent without the football and gives away a free kick. We'll go to Bedford. So now Bedford trying to set things up. Hill dives in, takes a good mark. And Hill have plenty of space over the back of this contest right now. If it gets over the top, they could just about run it into goal. Church, she's held up for the moment. Bartlett's there as well. Orm does nicely just to hold things up. And I think we might see a ball up eventually. We do. Claremont looking to drop an extra number back in defence. They've got a 2-on-1 inside their defensive 50 now.
Yep. Peel player pushing back on them now to even it up.
So Peel have the extra number around the contest at the moment, but it won't be any advantage to them.
Really aggressive attack on the ball there from Chloe Colgate and got the reward for that tackle.
Shannon Whale was the player who was caught. A kick from Colgate setting it up nicely for Zadnik. Claremont with the lead. We're into the last 3 minutes of this quarter. Good attack on the football there from Anderson, forcing a boundary throw, and Dickey trying to use her body to get her out of the way.
Interesting, you mentioned Trent Cooper's in Ireland at the moment. Of course, the Eagles have signed I think it's the Kelly sisters. They're a couple of Gaelic footballers from over there. So it'd be interesting to see. We have seen Cora Staunton and the like come from that background and make it at the AFLW level and be quite impactful. So interesting to see how those sisters go, the Kelly sisters. The Kelly gang.
You sure
Kelly gang.
It's not just a junket for Coops, is it?
I don't know.
Just tasting a few of the local brew.
I suggest he be on the lookout for a tall, athletic player that can jump, given that West Coast have pinched both of his ruck.
Great chase and tackle there from Smith, and then the second chase comes from Barndon, and she'll be rewarded. Robertson was caught cold, and the game stepping up in intensity for the moment.
Certainly was. Just had no idea the player was behind her then, Robertson, and just turned straight back into her. So a bit of talk needed from the Claremont girls so they can maintain this lead.
Barndon's kick was touched by Robertson on the mark. Ball in dispute at half forward. Leah Ursig sitting on top of it. Trying to rip it out of her hands was Perry, and the umpire with a quick whistle this time. See a ball up. Robertson's going to come to the bench a bit sore after that tackle. So about a minute to go in this quarter. Big cheer is coming to the bench is McKinley for Peel. Garstone controlled that well. Good hand pass to Leah Ursig. Kicks into space, middle of the ground. Big contest here. Atkinson favoured by the bounce, but running away from her goal. Shrugs the tackle well. And kicks with the left boot. Looked a little awkward, but it spun nicely off the boot. Great body use there from Leah Ursig. Got herself back onto the football. Kick for her twin sister. Perry gets in the way and then was tackled high. We'll get a free kick. Peel need to move it quickly if they're going to score before three-quarter time.
Perry's done well in the last 5 minutes of play, I think. Just she might not have had that many touches, but her positioning's been outstanding.
They've gone backwards here to try to set something up. The Claremont runner's gone out and asked every Tiger to get behind the football. And Peel are happy just to chip it around. They need to have a quick look at the clock and realise that they need to go. They've turned it over. Brooke Ursig has it. Gets a hand pass away just in the nick of time. Leah Ursig's kick was smothered. And Claremont might have done enough here. Zadnik is tackled and wrapped up. We'll see a ball up. And that might be it for the third quarter. Claremont with a 9-point lead with a quarter to play. 5-5 plays 4-2 at three-quarter time. Check the goal kickers before we have our last commercial break and set things up for the final quarter. For Claremont, White has 2 goals. Stewart, Metcalf and Dickey 1 apiece, while for Peel, Breslin has 3 and Malloy has 1. The Tigers by 9 points at three-quarter time. Big final quarter still to come.
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well. At Bupa, we call it Members First, a network of thousands of healthcare providers, all there for you. Search Bupa Members First.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
The high ball.
Don't you diddle, don't you daddle, you better skedaddle. You need to run for your life. Well, like Virginia Creeper, well, didn't want to keep her, just maybe for a while. You're lately in a hurdle. Well, I feel that day.
Hi, Elliot Yeo from the West Coast Eagles. I grew up playing
Nature knows it's better to be part of a group than out on your own. To be surrounded by others whose sole purpose is to keep you safe and well.
Back here at Claremont Oval, the final quarter, not far away from getting started. Claremont lead it by 9 points, 5-5 plays 4-2. As we have a good look at the Claremont huddle, their coach down there, Andrew Di Loretto, just having a good look at their board, trying to work out where to place his players best to set things up for a big final quarter. as the Tigers are searching for their first win of the season. They're taking on the other winless team, Peel Thunder, here. So whichever team has the win today will celebrate for the first time this year. And, of course, the team that finishes on the wrong end of this afternoon's action will be sitting on the bottom of the table. David Lindsay, Emily Johnson and Charmaine Rogers with you as we look at the highlights from the third quarter. It was a tight quarter, just one goal apiece, Emily.
Yeah, very tight quarter. Claremont had a lot of it in their forward half, but couldn't quite get the score on the board. Peel's pressure down back has been pretty immense all day, and I don't think it'll stop here. I think they're fighting hard. Their goals have come quite freely once they do get in their forward line, applying that kind of fast break tactic. And obviously Taylor Breslin has been wonderful for them with the 3 goals. And the Peel midfield struggling to gain the ascendancy over the Claremont girls, but wouldn't mind seeing a few of them step up and winning the ball like they did early in that first quarter.
Charmaine, where do you see this one being won? What's going to make the difference in the last quarter?
It'll be in the midfield. Whoever can get those clearances and then the capitalisation of the ball in the forward line.
Seeing a missed opportunity there from the Tigers in that third term. Some very tight action throughout the quarter. Third quarter, Claremont good enough to hold the lead. And their lead is 9 points with a quarter to go. The Tigers getting their message. I find it fascinating. You see men's footy as an ex-school teacher. Every time the male coaches stand with their backs to the grandstand with the sun over their shoulder and the players have to stare into the sun. Here with the women, as you just saw there, the Claremont coach and the Peel coach have done the right thing. They've turned their facing the sun. The players can look at the coach without any problems.
Very nice. It's here's that replay, I think, of that out of bounds. So just hitting Bella on the foot.
Perfect call by the umpires.
Yeah.
Hey?
Not sure. Anyway. But yeah, with the back to the coaches, I think a bit of a win. It's just one less thing that the players have to worry about, and rather than concentrating on the sun being in their eyes, they can concentrate a little bit on what the coach is saying.
It also comes back to coach education as well. I think that's a big difference there. It's one of the things that you learn early on in your coaching career is, take your sunglasses off.
Yeah.
Look where the sun is and don't have the players looking into the sun.
Peel coach Adam Dancy having his last words. He's got the sunglasses on, but he was looking into the sun himself and allowing the Peel players to have their backs to the sun. He's having a chat with Greta McKinley as he walks off. She's got some strapping around her left thigh. She's been very busy, very physical today, and she'll start the final quarter on the bench as Peel run out into position. The Claremont players already out there. And they lead it by 9 points, Claremont. And both of these sides in their second game of the season, they both had a bye, both had a loss. Looking to chalk up win number 1. Claremont will attack the right of your screen in the final quarter. There's been some fierce tackling today. We're seeing some of it again in our highlights here. And that was a very strong tackle from Abby Bunden on that occasion. So the final quarter about to get underway. Umpire holds the ball aloft. And in such a tight, low-scoring contest, the first goal of this quarter is going to be critical. The ruck, a bit of a change in there. Quaife no longer contesting the ruck. It's Little, and she won the tap, but she'll have to be in action again here. The ball hasn't broken out of the centre of those two circles. Zadnik wins on this occasion to the defensive side. Little's followed up. And that was a quick hand pass from Freeman, setting up Verrier. Tumbles a kick forward. Orm slaps it away initially. Now she'll need to take possession, about to be caught by Bartlett. Got a hand pass away to Brooke Ursig. Good enough to stand up in the tackle and get a hand pass once more. Little was there, shoved off the footy. Quick kick forward from Peel to a wide open attacking 50-metre arc. It's 3-on-3 down there. Leading in the race and knocking it to the goal side was Major. Peel applying fierce pressure. Breslin searching for a fourth goal. Can't take clean possession on this occasion, but they have locked it up for a stoppage just outside their goal square.
Great pressure there from the Claremont backs, but again, Peel getting it into their wide open forward, just couldn't quite get on the end of a good bounce there.
Claremont with the clearing kick, able to get it out of the area, but it hasn't gone far enough. Freeman takes the mark, has a player in short, that's ignored. She goes longer to Breslin, who has the sit, the jump and the mark. She's a dangerous forward coming out of that goal square.
It was a great lead, wasn't it? And then just to elevate to the contest and wrap it up on her chest.
Peel did have a player a bit shorter, and number 16 was free, but Obviously, kicking to the 2-on-1 when Breslin's the one marking the ball, you could be confident in that one.
Tight angle for her on this occasion. She's looking to swing it back to the left, and she's got it. 4 goals for Breslin. Peel have kicked 5, and the margin's back to 3 points. The ideal start for Peel Thunder in this final quarter.
Exactly what they needed to get a bit of momentum behind them. And they'll be looking for another one, no doubt.
Just what we wanted to see from their midfield as well. Georgia Perry in there leading the way and just scrap the ball forward. So Claremont will be looking to strike at this one with Lara and Jasmine Stewart. Roden Zimdal and Jasmine Stewart around the ball as well.
So Breslin's kicked goals in every quarter now. If she can find another goal or two, she'll be the match winner for sure. So far throughout this game, whenever a team's really challenged, the other has responded well. Will it continue in this last quarter? Little with a good leap, but timing it better was Zadnik to win the tap. She's involved again. Here's Zadnik. Tigers doing well. Stewart bumped and lost the football. Garstone with the kick, though. Gets them to attacking 50 almost. Good use of the body from White. Barnden back to the footy first. A hand pass away to Dowson. And Peel looked to attack down the outer side. Player going to ground there was Rowley. And the Claremont player overrunning the ball gives Peel another opportunity. Rowley receives a hand pass. Gives it off to Whale. High kick. One-on-one contest. Going over in front. Came off her fist to the back. Hardy had it for a moment. Claremont now through Stewart. She goes high with her kick. Rowley has to stand underneath it. And stood up to the pressure. Took the mark well.
Claremont players there, 3 of them just sort of standing on their heels. So we spoke about fitness being able to run the game out. I hope that's not a little indication of where they're at.
Perry goes short with her kick. Veria. Real talent in the state 18s this year in the leadership group. She kicks to centre half forward. He'll do well to bring the ball to ground. It was Hardy that did a good job in the contest, and then Bartlett holding it up for a ball up.
Strong tackle there from Valentini, who's been played in the midfield a lot today and been quite valuable.
She'll get the kick away here. No, smothered. Comes back. Perry now with the tackle. Hand pass out to Roden Zimdal. That was a good hand pass. Back to Stewart, who is standing off the back of the pack. Now Brooke Erseg. Short in the Dickey direction. That's
mark.
A strong mark. Kick didn't favour her, did it?
No,
she had to come back to her left.
Yep.
And once again, using that strength to stand up under pressure and take a very well-judged mark. Kicks to Metcalf, and then Metcalf over the top to Zadnik.
Casual as you like there from Metcalf. No panic at all, and just controlling the footy in here, see if they can get a quality entry.
Pokes her kick to Stewart.
It's been well worked by the Tigers up along that wing there. Just composure with ball in hand.
Stewart goes high this time, setting it up for White. She's one out against Barnden. Gets over the back. She's spotted the vacant goal square, but her kick comes off the side of the boot. Baxter leads in the race for the football. She's got time to set something up. Should have done better with the kick, really. At least could have gone boundary side. Instead, she kicked it straight to Smith. Smith looks inside the arc. Everyone's covered. Kicks looking for Dickey. At the back, juggling. Unable to hang on was Anderson. Dowson ducks out the back door. This kick to a contest. Stewart made it a tough contest. And she's given away a free kick.
A high free kick there. Zoe Timmers was screaming for the ball right on the 50 boundary there, but Ella Smith opting to go deeper and more central towards the goal, but Peel come away with it.
So Atkinson taking the free kick. Looked for Whale with her pass. Zadnik holds it up for Claremont, and there'll be another ball up. Time ticks away. 18-minute quarters, no time on, so players should be well aware how long there is to go. 3 points is the margin. Zadnik over the footy again. She's tackled. And once again, the umpire will come in and separate them.
Umpires definitely getting their money's worth. They were practicing their own ruck contest at half-time. So.
How'd they go?
Yeah, there's a reason they're umpires.
Oh, really? Gee, not impressed with their practice ruck work at the break, Emily Johnson.
We all have strengths.
I reckon the umpires might look back on these games as well on the internet, Emily. They might be after you as well.
Oh, no, I'm in trouble this week, I think.
Another stoppage.
They do a fantastic job as umpires, so...
They do, and the comments around the competition with the quality of umpires that are in action this year have been very positive. Dickey at centre half forward, shrugs a tackle. Kicks well. Kick to the advantage side of White.
That's a lovely kick. And again, Dickie's strength to stand up in that tackle.
So White, player on the mark, is about 30 metres out. She won't shoot for goal. She'll poke a kick to the pocket.
Not sure that was any great benefit other than...
Well, Timmers really is just 10 metres to the side of the player on the mark. So
same distance, just a bit more of an angle there.
So unless White can double around here and provide a lead, which she could right now if she wanted to. No, she's going to go right to the goal line. So we'll see Timmers here. A renowned high jumper. What's her kicking like? It looks good off the boot. Has it got the distance? Big leap. Unable to drag it in was Stewart. And Peel will get away with it. Dowson. That's a good kick to the advantage of a teammate. McKinley started the quarter on the bench, but she's recovered from that injury. She's back. Dowson stands up in the tackle. Hand pass back to McKinley. She's caught. Good tackle brought to ground by White. And Claremont will force a ball up. In fact, no, they might get a free kick. The umpire stood there and watched and said, you dragged it in. So White gets the free kick. She's too far out to score.
McKinley's been quite good today. Very hard at the footy, but I think a little bit unlucky on that occasion. Not a lot of time to get rid of the ball.
Stewart gives a lead. That's ignored. White looks as though she's going to back herself from here. She'll kick from just inside the 50-metre line. Good contact. Won't quite get the distance. Stewart works her way to the front of the pack again. It comes off hands to Baxter. She's got some pace, gets out of trouble, throws on the boot. Quaife drops the mark. Valentini has it. Her hand pass backwards towards a teammate who's able to get it away, and that's Goranova. Smith gets it back inside the 50-metre arc. White just wants to bash it forward. Anderson comes in the opposite direction and clears. In fact, that was Bedford. Claremont have set up well behind the ball, although Roden Zimdar runs herself into trouble. And
she had support there. She could have given it off, but opted to go through and got pinned. Great tackle from Peel as well.
This is where Peel are dangerous on the rebound. McKinley has it. Kicks high. Standing in front of the pack. Malloy couldn't take the mark. Orm at the back. Fierce hand pass on the ground. Had some real pace behind it. Got it to Roden Zimdar.
From Roden Zimdar.
And now that's a throw. Free kick to Peel. Baxter has it. Done some important things in this last quarter as young Nell Baxter. Spoil made by Smith. Goranova. Dragged to ground in the tackle. Roden Zimdal again. Very sharp hand pass. Hongle to Roden Zimdal again. Kicks with the left. It was a well-placed pass. Timmers should have done better. Atkinson at the back. Knocks it to her own advantage, then leaves it for a teammate. The smother came from Colgate. Ball came back to Little. Pokes a kick in the direction of Bedford. Colgate hassles her. Anderson collects. Kicks wide. Chance for Perry, who runs into a teammate and then hand passes it to her. Don't see that every day. That's a good mark. Bartlett has it. Dashes goalward, kicks over the top. Breslin leads back in the race. Goodwin Wissink, did she interfere? The umpire says play on. Goodwin Wissink might have got away with one there. Orm with the clearing kick towards Honjul. Couldn't take the mark. Perry gives Peel another chance. Hand pass to Veria. Dangerous hands for the footy to be in, but she was well tackled. Kick went sideways rather than forward. Zadnik, pressured by Rowley, goes to ground. Now she's caught. That could be holding the ball. No, the umpire calls for a ball up. And Goodwin Wissink will probably breathe a sigh of relief there. Might well have interfered, I think, there with Breslin. Charmaine?
There's been a couple of calls that, could have gone either way.
Good defensive play, you have to say.
Apparently.
Not sure the Peel fans would agree with that one.
Peel weren't too happy.
No.
And understandably so too.
Malloy knocked over. Solid bump coming from Brooke Ursig.
A couple of tired bodies out there.
Yeah, certainly is. This isn't really where they feel the pinch with 16 out on the field.
Yep.
Who is the fitter team? We'll find out in the next few minutes.
It also comes down to when you do get possession of the ball, controlling it, having the composure to control the ball, because if you can maintain possession, you've got less running to do.
Now, Claremont have numbers forward here. Dickey receives the hand pass, goes over the top with a hand pass of her own to White, goes with the outside of the boot, needs to hit the target. She's gone too wide. It's out of bounds on the full. Chance possibly missed from Claremont. We're under 7 minutes remaining in the game.
Tough there, stuck on her left side and tried to just kick on the outside of the boot, and I think got disposed of as she kicked it as well. So unlucky there from Claremont.
So the margin remains 3 points. Atkinson with the kick back into play. Dickey makes the spoil, follows up, tackled without it. Stewart collects the football. Sends it long. Clears the head of Atkinson. Fickle bounce again for all players. Not so much there for Brookersig, who has the footy, but she's tackled and drops it. And it's Atkinson again, I think, who's made a timely tackle. No, Bedford this time. Dangerous kick across the face of goal. Her target falls over, which allows Smith to mark.
They had the outnumber there, but just the Peel player falling over didn't help. Yeah.
Was it McKinley, I think?
Yeah, I think it was.
Off the ground. And now Smith.
Tough kick from here from Smith. Might test her a little bit, but the high jumper on the line is what you want to see.
It's a good point, Emily. There's a couple of holes there that to lead into as well. I haven't seen much of that today.
No, not
Dickey
much
wants to
movement.
lead up the middle at the moment. That'll be ignored. Smith will go for home. Sets it well out to the right. There is the high jumper in Timmers. Doesn't quite get her hands to the footy. Someone did because it was touched, and it'll be a boundary throw in rather than out of bounds on the full.
Not a bad position to be in for Claremont. Much rather have the ball in rather than hand the ball over to the opposition.
And it chews up time as well, doesn't it? 30 seconds with the set shot, and now time to reset with the boundary throw in. Dickey came charging through again, went to ground. Hand pass from ground level. Barnden away to Bedford, but her kick goes straight down the throat of a Claremont player. It's been marked centre half forward by Zadnik. Pokes the kick in the right direction. She has led with purpose throughout today, and she's rewarded with a mark on her chest. And again, we'll have a shot from long range. It might just be beyond her. But again, she'll chew up some clock.
Not a whole... Oh, here's Ella Smith coming out of the goal square now, but not many leads offered. They've had a few kicks from this range, but not much movement from the forwards. That's
Still like to see the high jumper down on the goal line.
So the kick goes right to the line. Attempted high jump from Stewart. Couldn't mark. Then she's tackled, loses the football. Dickey wants to barge her way through again. Close to the line. Will Peel rush it through. Stewart applies a good tackle. Umpire circling, waiting for this ball to come out. It won't come. And we'll see a ball up right alongside that left-hand behind post. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Claremont clinging to that lead. A goal here would be a killer blow, you feel, for Peel. Close to the boundary, Dickey. She's tackled. She thinks she's gone over. She looks at the boundary umpire and he blows his whistle.
Like to see someone run through the contest here. I mentioned a few times last week, a bit stagnant, but either side to get the ball out or kick a goal, just very stagnant at the stoppage around the ball.
Quaife knocks it back towards the boundary. Atkinson chases. She keeps it in. Now she runs head first into Dickey, gets a hand pass away. Coming out of defence, Anderson has put it over the fence. So Claremont have done well. They've locked this ball inside their attacking 50 for about 2 minutes, possibly 3 minutes of football. They haven't been able to kick the goal that would win them the game, but they have worked this clock right down to the last couple of minutes of the game.
They haven't had too many options either. Look, even now, there's a few leads out, but maybe that's an area that they could watch this again and have a look at how stagnant the forward line is.
And Timmer's kick has fallen short, and there'll be a 50-metre penalty against Robertson, who held on to her opponent for too long after that mark was taken. Barnden is paid the 50-metre penalty, and she wants to go straight away. Straight down the middle is her kick. Bartlett had it knocked away from her. Whale was front and square. High kick. Chance perhaps for Hill. She couldn't take the mark. Pressure now on the Claremont defence. Can they hold up? Perry with the kick. Breslin leaps high. Good spoil from Goodwin Wissink. Knocked it away from the danger forward. Peel get the kick forward, but straight to Warm. Off a step, she clears into space towards the wing. Good collect from Zadnik. Brushes off the tackle well. Hand pass to Timmers. She's about to be caught. Loses the football, and it's out of play. We go back to Goodwin Wissink. That was a timely spoil in defence.
It was a great leap and great fist there.
Comes back to Amy Barden there, knowing the awareness of that 50-metre and being able to play on when she gets there. And no one from Claremont ran with her and no one was on the mark. So it gave her a little bit extra room and she could get the ball up to the Peel half-forward line.
So about 2 minutes remaining in this game. And we're still within a straight kick. Next goal wins sort of stuff this is. Either side. Smith has it. She's tackled well by Quaife. They'll travel together in a few weeks with the State 18s. Smith hurls the ball back to the umpire. And Quaife becomes the ruck against Zadnik. She won the tap. Good pressure from Roden Zimdale. Forces the loose ball. Colgate with a high kick. Atkinson standing in front. Couldn't take the mark. Smith has it. She's tackled. And she was penalised for a throw. So Peel need to get it and go quickly. They've got just over a minute to go. Freeman with the ball. We saw close to three-quarter time they took a bit of time when they had ball in this position. This time they don't, and they've turned it over. Mark taken by Leah Ursig, one of Claremont's better players today. High kick to the wing. Robertson in good position, takes the mark, gives a hand pass away to White. She's got nothing forward. She kicks inboard and turns it over straight to Dowson. She knows she needs to play on quickly. She's away. About 45 seconds remaining. The kick down the line. Dickey couldn't mark. Knocked away from her by Bartlett. Got a hand pass away, but straight to her opponent in Garstone. Her kick chopped off by Freeman.
Needs to go here, Freeman.
With the left boot, she heads in the Hardy direction. The spoil from Goranova gets over the back. Hondrel started the game, saving the day in defence. She might have finished in the same way. Kicking down the line, Barnden stands up and takes the mark. About 20 seconds on the clock. Peel need a clean passage of play. They probably won't get it. Dickey with the big fist. Knocks it away. Anderson has it. Can't collect the footy cleanly though. Robinson's knocked over once more. Over the top comes Stewart. And the Tigers might have done enough here. They haven't scored in the last quarter. Peel have kicked the only goal of the term. But Claremont have won their first game of the season. The Tigers by 3 points. 5-5-35 have defeated Peel 5-2-32. A thrilling game of footy here at Claremont Oval. And a fantastic win for Claremont. Emily Johnson and Charmaine Rogers. You can take a breath. You're both wearing a bit of Tigers gear up here. We won't say that too loudly. But what a fantastic contest by these two teams.
Wonderful contest from the two teams. And Peel put the pressure on early at the start of the quarter. But despite Claremont having all the play in their forward line, the Peel defenders really stepped up. And they did that all day. There was quite a bit of play all day in the Claremont forward line. But full credit to the Peel defenders. But unlucky, just couldn't do it quite enough.
Well, we said it was going to be an arm wrestle at the start of the game. Traditionally, these two teams have played some really tight contested football and games, and today was no exception. Credit to both teams. What a ripper game of footy.
It's fantastic, wasn't it? Great contest. Peel started so well with 2 early goals and dominating the opening 5 or 10 minutes of the match, but really Claremont hit back hard. They took a 6-point lead into the halftime break. They stretched it out to 9 points in the third quarter and then didn't score in the last quarter. In fact, there was only 1 goal kicked in this entire final quarter as we look at some of the highlights. That was kicked by Taylor Bresland, who finished with 4 goals. And one of the highlights we might see in this final quarter was a very timely spoil from Amber Goodwin-Wissink, who had a tough job against the talented forward in Bresland, but a spoil about 40 metres out. When Bresland had good position, Goodwin-Wissink came with the fist at just the right time and probably saved the day.
Actually, yeah. I mean, there's moments like that throughout the whole, every footy game. But defenders, that's what you want them to do. You want them to neutralise the ball coming in.
I played junior footy with her dad as well, and he used to wear the number 11 as well.
Right?
So very good to see Amber Goodwin-Wissink with a big spoil. He was a fierce competitor, more of a midfielder than a defender, but went just as hard at it as Amber does.
She is definitely a fierce competitor, that's for sure.
A real strength of her game as well as her spoiling. Obviously that iffy one, the iffy decision, she panicked a little bit, but good to see her recover from that and do what she does best as well.
So the Tigers start to celebrate. This was that spoil, and I think Peel supporters, when they watch that replay, might think that they probably were a bit unlucky on that occasion. Not probably, definitely. It was good defensive play from Goodwin-Wissink because she got away with it, but probably a little bit lucky, really. And in the end, the Tigers were good enough to hold on. It was a tough final quarter. There was bodies put on the line. Neither team prepared to give an inch, and in the end, Claremont were good enough just to hang on. And it's fantastic for the Claremont side. They win their first victory of WAFLW, and they're now 1-1, which, as much as we know that they're probably on paper a little bit short, Charmaine, of the top 3 teams, they put themselves in a position where they're 50% from 3 rounds.
Anything can happen on any given day, and you've just got to give yourself the opportunities, and the first way to do that is to get your hands on the footy. What you do from then on is completely up to you, but you really do have to be first to the footy. And you just have to grind away sometimes and take what you can get. Full credit to both sides, but in particular Claremont, didn't give up all day, no drop of the heads. Peel got away to a bit of a lead, and they just ground it back.
Very excited group of Tigers down there. They've just sung the club song. Emily, Peel had a real crack today. They'll win some games of footy this year.
They certainly did, and with Sabrina Duffy and Cassie Davidson coming back into the side, I think they're not a team to write off. They've obviously there's always a winner, there's always a loser. So Peel will, I think, work hard during the week. Adam Dancy will be all over them. He does very good game analysis, so he'll provide some really good feedback to the girls, and I think we'll come and see them firing next week. I'm not sure who they're playing, but I'm sure whoever it is.
Swans.
They've got
Swans on Saturday.
So the Swans will be in for a tough game
I
next
think
week,
so,
I'd suggest.
yeah.
And Claremont come back here next Saturday. I think it's a very early start for that one. They take on Subiaco, which will be a tough game for Claremont against the undefeated Lions. And Charmaine, it will be fascinating, I think we said it after round one, Emily, to see how this competition evolves over the year with the AFLW players coming in at various stages. We'll see teams at full strength and teams that are battling to, hold on when they haven't got the AFLW players. So there's plenty to really come in this competition.
Well, that's one of the challenges for the coaches as well. Obviously, it's in consultation with the AFLW clubs, but it's about when do you play those AFLW players? How do you use them within your list? So it's just another one of those nuances that the new competition has brought to us, which is just fantastic and so exciting for women's football here in WA.
Charmaine, it's been fantastic to have you with us on our broadcast. We know you'll be back at various stages throughout the season, so we look forward to your contribution on those occasions. And Emily, you're just a fixture at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm back next week.
Really?
I might have got in a bit of trouble today from a few other things.
Okay.
The call on Amanda Robertson and one of the other players, but I think I'll be definitely watching next week and really enjoying the football I've seen so far.
Been great to have you with us over the first 3 weeks. A win for Claremont today. They've won by 3 points. So the Tigers, their first win of the year. Unfortunately for Peel, they remain winless after 3 rounds. Another game for broadcast next week. So stick with us here on WAFLW. It's been a fantastic start to the competition, and there's plenty more to come.
This WAFLW live stream is proudly brought to you by Optus, proud naming rights partner of the WAFL, and WAFLW, Bupa, proud sponsor of WA football, and the West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams.